there is no way you can be the best student without being like radically questioning everything. You need to do wrong some things if you want to stay curious. But trying to find this balance. I explored many other venues besides the traditional education. I like to go on the streets and meet kind of, punks or, hip hop rappers on the streets in the 90s. I'm speaking 90s. So I used to hang out at night and do things that were on the edge of, on the edge of what was allowed, and to discover this other part, because I thought it was relevant. And the funniest thing is that you, in the streets, you find people that are more wise, much more wise than the people you find maybe in the top of the rectorate of a school, Both have very deep knowledge into their own domains, but these domains are so different that you cannot marry to one or the other. Like you need to, my take was to discover all these domains. And that's why I also started playing music. I think it comes from I'm very sure that it comes from the emotions that are in the unconscious, in my case, because the songs, the topics of the songs, the melodies and the intentions, they reflect what I'm feeling, but without myself being aware that that's what I'm feeling. For example, sad. If you compose more sad music, you can be happy in your day, pick up the guitar, and then a sad song comes out. So how do you explain that? Why in a happy day a sad song? Because you are motivated, you go take the instrument. Why? And then you realize, well, this has been dragging for a while. Or the opposite, someday maybe you are kind of not feeling well and pick up the guitar and something happy comes out. And that's because there is also an emotion inside that is willing to emerge. The beauty of mathematics, all these things about frequencies, the Pythagorean scale, and how we perceive something that is beautiful and it's connected to specific numerical ratios, like the golden ratio, or like the 2:3 and so on. So this is the type of research that we do with this duet, with the little symphonic duet, and it's part of my interests because my experience. I studied physics first, then mathematics, then computer science, and then cognitive science. So I had to reshape my mind. People from the outside, they think that studying physics or studying mathematics is the same. It's very similar, but it's completely different mindset. That's why the gaming thing of the Buckminster College calls my attention. I was also a very, let's say, addicted to role-playing games. In Super Nintendo, basically, I played many role-playing games, loved them, like the idea of being in a world and make decisions and accomplish the missions in ways that were maybe not straight, like in the action games that you need to do one thing. In the role-playing games, you can find your own way to accomplish the mission. So that's why. So yeah, I've always been a very, let's say, independent thinker and opening paths that have not been done by other people. That's where I will say that was always my thing. We are like, knowledge is like bacteria evolution. Everything its influences sends DNA to the other fields. So it's a much more reasonable analogy to think of bacteria evolution, because bacteria can do, it's called horizontal gene transfer. Mm-hmm. So they can pass genes to the other bacteria while they are alive. Mammals and not typical Darwinian evolution assumes that the offspring gets the genes of the parents. But bacteria, they say, okay, I'm gonna give you this super feature now. Boom, now you can decompose plastic. Now you give me the capacity to decompose oil or something like that, So bacteria evolution, I think it's a much better analogy for knowledge evolution. After the fact of discovering that the history of art and the history of science evolve in a knotted way. So these are mind-blowing things that I guess a young person, like a teenager or something, would love to see.